All right, so I've been watching football now for about 6, 7-ish years. Oh boy, great, good, great start. Already dropping memes 5 seconds into the video. I mean, I didn't plan that. That was not in the script. There is no script. That was never in the script, if I ever had one. But there we go. So like I said, I've been watching football for a little bit now, and I'm not no expert. I am no expert on football. I barely know jack anything about plays, but I somewhat know the teams and I know the players. I am a fantasy football champion myself, so I figured I might take my chances at making NFL picks this season and see how I do overall. I don't know how this will go, but we'll see how it all plays out. So the first game of the season, Thursday Night Football, it is the Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles, an NFC East rivalry that it's not going to be close. I don't think the question of who might win is even close. It's got to be the Super Bowl defending champion Eagles taking this game. There's no way in my mind that I see Dallas winning this game, especially about what has just transpired over the last couple months with Micah Parsons. It just has to be the Eagles. I don't think that Dallas Cowboys team is anywhere where they want to be right now, especially with what's just happened. Then the special Friday night game live from Brazil, my Chargers taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. And another division rivalry to open up the season. A lot of people are going to take the Chiefs. I think this one's a bit of a toss-up. I was looking at some betting sites earlier, and a lot of people think it also is a toss-up. But you know what? I'm a Chargers fan. I got picked my Chargers. I think Keenan Allen back, and this is Keenan Allen jersey too. Having Keenan Allen back in the lineup, I think is going to bolster Justin Herbert up, and I think the Chargers are going to come out with a victory in Brazil, baby. Go Bolts. All right, so the 1 o'clock period on Sunday. This is where the majority of the games will be played. There's a lot of them, so I'm going to try and just kind of maybe rapid fire through these pretty quickly. Starting with the Giants taking on the Commanders. I don't see the Giants win this game. I think the Commanders have a great roster. I think, especially with Jaden Daniels in his second season, hopefully he does not have a sophomore slump himself. I think he will continue where he left off last season, so I believe it will be Commanders all the way. Panthers and the Jags. I mean, I don't think this is a game that a lot of people are going to be paying attention to on Sunday at 1, unless you have a player in fantasy football. In my opinion, I think this will go to the Jags. I think the Jags will have a better season than they did last year. But this is one of those games that's a toss-up, but I'm going to go with the Jags. Next, we got the Jets at home facing off against the Steelers. This was one of those 50-50 games. Justin Fields facing off his former team. Aaron Rodgers facing off against his former team. What's going to happen there? I personally think the Steelers will come out of this. I mean, the Steelers seem like the better defensively rounded team compared to the Jets. I think Aaron Rodgers will show up against his former team more than Justin Fields will. So I'm going to take the Steelers on this one in this 50-50 game. The Las Vegas Raiders and the New England Patriots are next. Again, this is kind of like a Dookie Bowl 50-50 in my opinion. I hate the Raiders first of all, but I will show them respect throughout the season if they're playing a team that's also bad as well. But I think with the way how the Pats played last year showed some promise with Drake May at quarterback. I'm going to take them for the win this week. I think they will just kind of scave out the Raiders. It will be close, but I think the Pats will have this one. This next matchup is another one kind of like the Cowboys versus the Eagles. I don't see how this team will lose this game. It's the Cardinals versus the Saints. I'm picking the Cardinals easy here. The Saints seem to just have Alvin Kamara, and that's honestly it. Chris Olave, you never know when he's going to get concussed again. I just can't see the Cardinals losing this game at all. And let me just repeat everything I just said for the Bengals versus the Browns. The Browns have had a crowded QB room all year. They finally settled, but congratulations, you got to play Joe Burrow and the Bengals in week 1. I'm sorry, but good luck. I mean, the Bengals are seeing red right now, bro. They've missed the playoffs the last 2 years, barely missed out on last year because of the horrible start they had. I think the Bengals are guaranteed to have a good start to this year, and I'm guaranteeing that they'll probably make the playoffs considering how Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase played at the end of last year. And if you're able to have a healthy T. Higgins going forward, watch out. Now the Colts versus the Dolphins. This is again one of those where, in my opinion, I just see the Dolphins win this one, and there's no other option. I think it would be honestly a miracle if the Colts win this game. They're flippy floppy right now with their quarterbacks. They drafted Anthony Richardson. Now they don't even want to play him. What the hell's that all about? Yes, the Dolphins have the Tyreek Hill stuff going on, but if you're able to wrangle him in for a week, you're going to be golden, and I think the Dolphins kind of have that. I see them coming away with a win this week. And the final 1 o'clock game on my list is Bucks-Falcons. This is a one that went down to the wire a couple of years ago. Remember, the Falcons won it in overtime with Kirk Cousins at QB. Now it's Michael Penix versus Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield has kind of rejuvenated his career. I kind of see the Bucks taking this one. Yes, they won't have Chris Godwin available, but you still have almost a touchdown guaranteed Mike Evans in the lineup. I personally guarantee he will score a touchdown on Sunday. The Falcons, they had an all right year last year. Now Michael Penix has to grow on what he did. Will he be able to do that? We'll see. I'm taking the Bucks though. Moving on now to our 4 o'clock games. Going once again with an easy one. Broncos, Titans. I don't see the Broncos not losing this one. They have one of the best defenses in the league. We're probably going to see them a lot, maybe taking the ball away a lot in that game. And as well as Bo Nix, how great of a year he had last year. Cortland Sutton as well. I personally see the Broncos taking this one pretty easily. Next is the 49ers versus the Seahawks. The 49ers, there's a bit of trouble with the receiving core right now. Brandon Ayuk maybe possibly going to be traded soon. We'll see what happens there. They don't have Deebo Samuel, but they still do have Christian McCaffrey. And if he's able to stay healthy, he'll have a solid season for them. The Seahawks brought in Sam Darnold from Minnesota, brought in Cooper Kupp from LA. We'll see what those two can do together. Overall, I think defense will be a big factor here, and the 49ers have that, so I'm taking them to win this one. Now, this is one of the big games of the weekend. This is one of the 50-50 games that has 2 solid teams. It's the Lions taking on the Packers. I'm taking the Packers on this one, and that might surprise a couple people considering how great of a year the Lions had last year. And I will say, yes, the Micah Parsons trade does factor into my pick, considering how much he bolsters that defense. I also think that their offense has improved massively over the last year, and Jordan Love leading that team, if he's able to stay healthy, remember he had some injury troubles last year, I think he could lead this Packers team to great things, more specifically a playoff spot down the line. In the final 4 p.m. game, the Texans versus the Rams. Matthew Stafford seems to be a go for this Sunday for this game, but how much of a go is he, to be honest? And considering what the Texans have done last year, they've lost a couple of pieces, but they're still a very strong team. I'm personally taking the Texans in this one. I just think they have the stronger line. Now on to Sunday Night Football, in which we see a rematch of the AFC divisional game last year between the Bills and the Ravens. We all remember Mark Andrews dropping that 2-point convert to tie the game late and basically giving the Bills the victory. This game is just like the Lions and the Packers. It's a 50-50 split. It's in Buffalo, though. Obviously, the last year high mark for Buffalo, so you know the fans are already going to be going crazy already, but it's probably going to be even double that now that they're going to be moving stadiums next year. In my opinion, I think the Bills will just squeak this one out. Yes, the Ravens still have a great team. Yes, they still have a great defense. I just think you can't really stop Josh Allen, especially being in Buffalo. He's going to be pumped up with the crowd. And finally, the Monday Night Football game. A bit of a, I'm not going to say a weaker Monday Night Football game, but still an all-right one. It's the Chicago Bears versus the Minnesota Vikings. It's a divisional matchup. Bears trying to grow off what they did last season. A lot of improvement there from them. Minnesota having that great year last year. What will they do now with J.J. McCarthy at quarterback? I think that's a big question. Obviously, it looked to be like J.J. McCarthy was going to start last year. He gets injured. He's out for the year. Sam Darnold comes in, puts on an absolute show. So this is kind of just like our first look at J.J. McCarthy, basically, in a regular season game for the Vikings. The Bears, however, I just think have made improvements. I think they're going to come out with this win. The Vikings still have a good, strong defense. But personally, I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to go with the Bears. I'm going to throw a wrench in all this. So I'm going to pick the Bears. So there you have it, everyone. There's my week 1 picks for this NFL season. Let me know what you think about the picks. I mean, heck, I'm not the most knowledgeable guy in the room, but I feel like I picked a couple good teams here and there. Let me know down in the comments whether I was horrible, whether it was good. And if you like this content and you want me to do more weekly picks, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and once again, comment down below whether you think I I was right or horribly wrong. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. Peace. Have a great day. And hey, enjoy the football.